Hello everybody. A couple weeks ago I published a video called, put my glasses on, Ronald, how to read a fossil crab concretion, and this video starts out with a little 50-second chunk of that video showing you exactly which crab I'm going to take for this video, and I'm going to read it in front of your eyeballs, I'm going to mark it in front of your eyeballs, and then I'm going to prep it in front of your eyeballs. And if you watch till the end, which I think is the best part, a heck of a surprise. It created a bunch more work, but I didn't care. And so I hope you enjoy that video, or this video. And it really is a tough one. I'm guessing this is the top. So being that it's a guess, what I do is I just make a hole until I hit either carapace, which would be the dorsal, or the underneath of the crab, which would be ventral. And either way I would know it's a crab. But that's going to be a pretty nice crab. I know this site. This one, you can see that shape again. Rounder back here. Square up here, so you know the claws are facing this direction. This is definitely the flatter side, so this is dorsal. So that crab is sitting there just like that with his little claws right there, little legs coming out. I don't know if you can see them or not, but that's also another, should be a nice crab with very beautiful color. I know where that side is too. Last week I did a fossil video about how to read a crab concretion. Seems to be somewhat popular, so I figured I might as well put this thing to the test. This concretion, as I can see, I don't know if you can see that or not, but this is the flat side right here. This is the top of the crab. I hope I'm doing this right. I tell you guys how to read a crab concretion, so I gotta read it right. This is the rounder part, so this is the back of the crab. This is the squarer part, so these are where the claws are at. So if you just take this is the sharpened chainsaw file that comes in handy for all kinds of stuff. And if the guy at the chainsaw store knows you get them for free. I got a bunch of these somewhere. This one's lasted me 20-some years. Anyways, I put an arrow how I've read this crab. That's the front of the crab, top of the crab, back of the crab. You see there's nothing on the back, so I will show you if I screw up. There's no way around this one. So I'm going to start taking rock off of this with the super jack. Hope I don't damage the carapace. And then I'll slow down and start using this baby, the ME9100. Good little tool. Alright, wish me luck. Gotta get to work. Alright, that crab should be, top of the crab should be about the middle of that rock. So I may be about little less than 1/4 of an inch away. Just a guess, but should be a pretty good guess. So I'm getting closer. This is a boring part and a scary part, but it has to be done. Well, extremely disappointing. That crab is sitting a little bit higher than I had anticipated, and I went right over the top into that carapace. That hurts. That hurts. I dinged it pretty good. Anyways, that's the front of the crab. No mark here. Ugh, man, that sucks. It won't look near as that bad when I get done, but that always hurts. Anyways, I'm going to take this tool here and go around real carefully and see how sticky or not sticky that is. Heck, I'll do it right here in front of your eyeballs. It's not even sticky, which is good. But oh, that hurts. That absolutely hurts, dinging that carapace. Jesus. You ever feel stupid? Okay, I didn't get very far, and I realized, I don't know if you can see that or not, these little shiny spots here, 3 of them. I just stopped and glued that because I damaged this carapace. It looked like just maybe with little or to no effort that these were going to come off, or little pieces were going to come off here. So, and this is kind of like glass. So I stopped and put some of my Gliptol on it. Probably same thing like Paraloid. I mean different. Paraloid is plastic. This is a lacquer. I guess that's type plastic. I don't know. So anyways, that should hold that together so it doesn't fall apart on me. And I'm going to get back to work with this baby. Okay. 15-20 minutes later, you can see that area right there. I did not hit that. I was taking off just a little tiny piece of rock right here. This was covered, that little spot right there. Boop, the rock came off, took the shell with it, and another heart attack. So it's these little tiny things that just drive me nuts. But this crab was, well, so far this carapace was damn near perfect till I come along. But easily fixable, so you got to fix that stuff later. Anyways, what I do is I take this, take down rock, get closer to the crab, take this, and I just start slowly but surely taking off little tiny pieces of rock. Like that. And just keep going down and down and down in a bowl shape type of thing. And you'll find legs and claws and all kinds of good stuff. keep that bullshit. You don't have to. Do whatever you want. That's the way I do it. Don't know if you can see this or not. Right there. A little line there. I don't know what's going on. And you got a little sticky right there. So I'm going super slow. Try to get that without dinging it up or having to wear it off the rock, which always kind of sucks, but what do you do? That's down pretty low. That's a tough spot. I don't care what anybody says, that is a tough spot. Alrighty then. Always keeping that bowl shape. I can go down a little bit farther here, went all around here, and then I'm going to try to see if I can find that rear end. Hope it's got a rear end, and then start following the legs out. Sometimes, depending on how high the claws are, you may hit those or not. It's hard to say. Every single crab is different, even if it's the same bloody species. Anyways, I'm going to take this down farther. I cut that line on purpose so it gives me definitely something to follow, since there's really nothing there but the crab, the elevation of that crab. Then I'm going to take this, take that down very slowly. This way if you hit something, it's very minor. So that's a lot of work actually. So I won't bore you with that. Okay, I started here, worked all the way around, and I bumped into that right there. I don't know if the camera can see that or not. That little teeny tiny spot. I'm assuming that is the right arm. So I'm gonna stop doing this and take some rock off here and just find out for sure before I go any further. Sometimes there's pieces of crab that are in the same concretion. You don't want to see pieces because that means the crab has been falling apart, disarticulated or whatever. To what degree, who knows, but I'm going to do a little bit of exploratory there and see what the heck is going on. Now you can see it. That spot right there, that's the carpus. So now I gotta make a mental note that that is there. I still want to take this down a little bit, expose more of the carapace and get down to this rear end and just leave that alone for right now. Okay, so that's definitely a stress fracture, just like the same on this side. You can see little tiny hairline fractures in there. But here's some good news. There's that little tiny dark spot right there is the right coxa. And right here, that little tiny black spot, that little dark spot there, that's the left coxa. Those are the very first joints of the very first legs. So that'll give me something to follow. So now it is getting interesting. And take your sweet you-know-what time back here because there's all kinds of angles and I don't know how to explain it. It's not flat. Let's put it that way. That's what I see. Get a very close-up view. I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay, that's sharp. You want your tool to be sharp, especially when you're working with really fine, detailed stuff. Slows you down, but you gotta go slow. That's simple. Okay, here goes nothing. There's one. There's the right one. Woohoo! I like to see that. Now I'm gonna go expose this one. There's number 2. There's the left coxa. That's making me feel pretty good. That's a double woohoo. Now I'm gonna see if I can find the in-between stuff. Wish me luck. This is turning out pretty good. Let's not ruin it. Now, that, my friends, is what you call a very nice rear end. Right there. That's what I want on all my crabs. If I was a guy crab and this was a girl crab, that's the rear end I would want on her. Right there. Bad analogy, but I like it. Anyways, I'm going to take all this rock down here and all this rock down here, find the beginning of those legs, and go from there. First 2 legs coming right out. Where they go and how complete they are, that's, you know, a lot of question marks. But what you always hope for is for tippy tippies, all the dactyls and all the legs, but that rarely happens. We're talking rarely. Anyways, I'm now going to follow up this leg a little bit and that leg a little bit. There's left leg, first right leg. A little sticky up here, the way it goes. This one's kind of glassy. You gotta be super careful, just go super slow. I'm going to try to find that where the joint is, and where it goes from there, who knows. So you got to be really careful when you get to a joint. I've bowled everything, that's why I do this, including the legs, so that if the leg turns around, I've still got the leg here and I didn't go down and destroy it or remove a piece. Same thing with this side. I always go down into a canyon, so to speak, so that I don't, or make less damage as possible. Anyways, so let's go find these joints. Okay, there's the joint, there's the end of that piece of leg, there's the end of that piece of leg. This is many times where that's it, there's no more leg after this joint. So I'm going to dig down just a little bit and hopefully it's curving down, or hopefully it is there. This is always a scary moment. So what I do is, if I'm really getting away here or not. There's that one, I think. Looks like it's taking a turn. So, I'll show you in a little bit what I find. How good these legs might be. It's always a question mark. I always save, well, not always, but I always have some rock just set on the side for repair and stuff, just in case. Now then, let's zoom in on that baby. You can see here, got a nice little turn of the leg where the joints are. I got a lot of rock to remove here to finish up to find the next joint. But now I'm hoping that this next joint, which is going to be down here somewhere, makes another turn, and I end up with a dactyl, a tippy. Oh, I like the tippy tippies. And same with this one. More rock on this side than this one, but tippy tippies are nice. So far, it's only a 2-legger, so not too impressive. Well, the rear end is impressive, but not too impressive yet. But I'm sure there's more legs in there. It's just a matter of time and getting down there and whatnot. But you can see how everything is in a bowl shape. Everything's in a bowl shape. Less damage that way, less mistakes that way. So anyways, I'm going to see if I can get to the next joints on these two little pieces of leg here. Wish me the best of luck. That might be, well, I don't know if it's going to come out to the edge of the rock or not, but I might get a tippy out of these guys. But now that I know where these are going, I can take a whole bunch of rock off here, which is what I'm going to do with this baby here. And I just realized my drink has no ice in it because I've been too excited, too busy on this crab. Slurp, slurp. So, that's not pretty. Oop. But that saves me several minutes, 10 minutes of work. Doesn't sound like much, but if you do that several times, then you're talking an hour of time. Anyways, I'm gonna see if I can get down to the tips of those, see where they go, and wish me luck. Alright, that's turning into quite the contour. Instead of taking this down any farther, I'm going to start taking down more rock, see if I can find more stuff. Hopefully I can take down this right here area and find some more leg. Might have to find it out here, I don't know yet. I'd like to find that other left claw before, or that left arm before I call it quits. Anyways, hasta la vista, baby. So, taking rock off everywhere. Found this leg, but I don't know what's going on here. It's like there's a piece of a leg, but none here. And then, as I'm worried about that leg, and I'm taking all this rock off, I make my second biggest mistake of the day. I go right along the propotis, or not the propotis, the carpus here, on this arm. Just, it's always something. I mean, I can easily hide that, but, you know, why would you have to? If I was just a little bit more careful to find a piece of it. Anyways, it is what it is. It looking like a pretty good crab, but this, is there any more leg after this piece? I don't know. Is there? Maybe it's still down here. I don't know. Gonna find out. Time will tell. Crab starting to. Remember, this is the square side. This is the rounder side. This was the flatter side. This was the rounder side. So it's working out just the way I read it. Almost like I know what the hell I'm doing. Good morning, everybody. Day number 2. I've got a little bit more propotis rock to remove off of this propotis before I get to the dactyl. This is a short little propotis, it looks like. So I'm going to go for the dactyls here today, right now, and then take off more rock, find more leg. That is my plan. That little teeny tiny dark spot right there is that dactyl. Now I'm going to go get the other one. And that little dark spot right there is the right dactyl. Now I'm going to take off all this rock, follow those two dactyls out. That's going to take a while. Show what that looks like when I'm done here. So what I did is I took my super jack, and in about 15 seconds, since I know exactly where these dactyls are going to be, took off enough rock where this would have taken me probably three minutes, maybe even 4 minutes. But so like I said, patience is key. So hurry up and be patient. There's the right dactyl. I don't think that's clear to the tippy, but it's pretty close. But that's definitely deep sea diving there. At least that's the way it looks so far. Once I contour all this, bring all that rock down, it won't look so deep diving. But on to the left one. And there's the left dactyl. Look at that little beauty. Starting to like this crab. Took off a bunch of rock here. This leg is in bad shape. I'm not running anything else yet. This tippy is going clear to the end, but I stopped there because I'll just finish it up later. I just don't want to mess with it now and accidentally damage it or lose it. I will now clean up all of this area, maybe find the bottom parts of those propotuses, the bottom pincer, and then go on to this side, take down this rock, see if I can find some more leg. That's my plan. Not that I will stick to it, but that's the plan. Get a load of that right there, that little dark spot. That's a leg coming out from this direction, just like that. So, that's nice. 1, 2, 3, now 4-legger. Of course, that leg isn't very good, but you still got to count it as a leg because it is a leg. Anyways, I cleaned up this a little bit. I cleaned up this little leg a little bit, and I found that little tiny spot. Now I found, that's the joint right there. That's where the joint is. That's the new piece going down. Anyways, I got a lot of rock to remove here and clean up that leg and hopefully find another. Whew, jeez. Okay, there's the beginning of that pincer on the right claw. Already got this beginning of the left pincer, or the bottom left pincer on the left claw. This leg here went clear out to the end, as you can see. Changed color where that rind is at. Okay. Bottom part of that propotus, bottom part of that propotus, that's a tough one. Geez, a tough one. A lot of cleanup still, but I'm shot for the day. I'm calling it quits. Tomorrow I got a lot of rock to remove over here and hopefully find another leg. And then I'm gonna have to start using my Band-Aid trick. That finger where the machine constantly sits is making a pretty good dent in my finger. Anyways, you can actually start on this end instead of over here following it out. Slow and careful. That's all you do. Just keep going until you can't go any farther. It's going to come over here and turn and go into this leg or something. Anyways, I'll be back. Okay. That didn't take too long. A little disarticulation here going on, which is fine because the leg is still there, and I'd rather have it there than not there. I'm going to take all this rock down and just see where is it at now, and just see if that's the other leg. So wish me luck. I won't bore you with taking all this rock off. It's not too exciting. Wish me luck. Oh, and got my finger saver, so this thing rides right up along my finger on this band-aid. A little bit of cushioning. Okay, I took all this rock off nice and carefully to here. I've got this to attack, but that little spot, wherever it was not a leg. I think it was right there. It was just a piece of a little tiny seashell that was broken. So 3 legs here so far, only 2 here. I'm going to go over here and see if I can find one. That spot over here, I forget where it was also, I don't know what it was. It certainly wasn't a leg. There it was. Not a leg. So, anyways, I'll take some rock off here and see if I can find another leg. Just barely got started. Didn't even see it. There's a leg. So let's hope it's complete. I'll follow that guy out and have another leg. I hope. There's disarticulation going on, you just don't know. Uh-oh. Not looking good. Like a piece of leg. I'm gonna do a little digging around right here, see if I can find it. It's kind of like this one where it's broken, disarticulated from the leg, and I'm hoping that's what's going on over here, but I don't know. Definitely doesn't look good here. Just comes to an end, just a piece of a leg. So I thought I'd dig down here and see if I could find it, and there's definitely something. Those little dark spots there. So I'm going to clean that up and see if that's a leg. It's got to be a leg, or what's left of a leg. So wish me luck here. Hope that turns into a better leg than I was looking. Not the best leg, but a leg. When I went down here, I ran right into the joint, which is what was kind of looking weird. Now I understand. And the leg comes to this next joint, and that's just it. It's gone there, and a piece of it is right here. So I'll just clean it up to make it look good when I'm done. But I'm going to dive down right here somewhere and see if there's one more leg coming out. Hope I will. So far it's a 6-legger. 8-legger would be better. Well, they're actually 10-leggers. They're called decapods. Claws are just modified legs, really. Anyways, need more leg. I'm going to go digging. I figured since I was cleaning up this area here and diving down, I put some glue to save this. I don't know what to call that. I should know what that is, but I don't. That little bump there, like an elbow. And then I put some glue here because these parts here, where this arm keeps going underneath the carapace, or the side of the edge of the carapace, that is. I've lost a few of those over the years. I'm going to try to save these. They're so dang small though. So I glued this one and that one. Anyways, hope it works out. And if you think you got too much glue on it, you can always take a cotton swab or a little piece of tissue paper or something with some acetone, and it'll come off pretty easy actually. So anyways, back to work. I need to find another leg over here. Still a concentration. I've saved this one and I've saved this one. Not quite done, still got a little bit of cleanup to do. But I'm going to just start cleaning up this rock and shaping it, and hope I find these fourth leg on this side and the fourth leg on this side. Pretty iffy at the moment. Anyways, I'm going to start shaping and cleaning. That's what it looks like right now. So when I shape and clean, I'm going to shape this. Do I want it? This is pretty much shaped. This is pretty much shaped. I'll take a little bit more down there. Just stuff like that. Just go around the whole crab and keep taking off rock until you're happy with it. There. That's pretty much shaped the way I want it. Haven't run into any fourth legs on either side, but now I'm going to clean up around all the legs, claws, everything, which will take it deeper, and then I'll do this one more time and then hopefully find some more leg. Slow but sure. Okay, there's the right side pretty well cleaned up, or at least around the actual critter. Still got to work on all the rock. Now I'm going to do this face, work around this left side, and then shape the rock again. Whew. And there is the left side. Now I'm going to reshape this rock again. I won't show you all that because that will be quite boring. Take me about 45 minutes or so to get around there. Well, that's only 2.5 hours this morning, but I think that's enough. It's, I'm pretty sure this is the fourth leg turning back around underneath all of this stuff. So that's just going to be a lost leg, but I think that's the fourth leg. This side, I'm just not finding a fourth leg. It's either it's really deep in the rock or it's not there, because the rest of this leg is not there. But other than that, besides its problems, it's actually pretty decent crab. Don't care what anybody says. So, that's it for the day. Okay, I'm back. Been gone for 3 days, or at least not in the garage for 3 days, and thought a lot about this crab. I'm 99% positive that this little tip of this leg here is the fourth leg, which goes underneath all these, comes back and out this way because it is facing that direction. So I'm sure that's the dactyl of the fourth leg. So that's as far as I'm going there. This one I'm not quite that sure. I think there might be a leg down here somewhere, but whether I can find it or not, I don't know. I'm just going to start smoothing out this rock, starting with this right here, going up there. So I'm going to cut me a line here. When I'm cutting this line, I'm constantly looking from the edge to what part of the crab it's going to go to contour the rock to fit the crab, or at least the way I think it should be. Oh, what's that? There's leg. Very slow going. This is how I do it. This is how I smooth out a crab without using a grinder, that is. Just with the basically the edge of the stylus tip. So this can take quite some time. I'm going to get some done and I'll show you a little bit later. Nobody wants to watch 4 hours of rock smoothing. Don't know if you can see this or not, but I cut my line here, working my way in. Then I didn't like it, so I started again and recut this line here just to reshape that a little bit more. I do that with probably every single crab. The bigger crabs definitely. Sometimes 3 and 4 times I'll redo a certain spot, just so it fits the crab the way I like it. So anyways, just wanted to show you that your first cut doesn't always work. That's a lot better. I can just see that beautiful line right there. I don't know if you can see that or not. Here, let me get this in the camera's view, but there's that beautiful line I'm working on. You can see it comes up right where that leg is at. Okay, back to work. Oh no. Hollow leg. Just caved in. Oh man, disappointing. Very disappointing. I'm just going to hold that together with a whole bunch of cyanoacrylate. And let me get this. A little bit of accelerator. Boy, that's disappointing. Alright, I'm going to go back to work over here. Wasn't expecting that. Now for around the legs. This is a tough spot here, but I'm getting there. This may be slow going, but this was actually the fast spot, fast area. The rest of the stuff's going to be kind of slow. Alright, I don't know if you can see this or not. Hope you can. Bring this light over here a little bit more, I guess. I was cleaning up between this leg and the carapace and between these two legs and making this a little bit shorter, taking some more rock off, and if you can see that right there, I think that's the fourth leg. Could be a piece of this leg, but I think that's the fourth leg. I'm going to take some more rock here a little bit and find out. See what happens. My fingers, both fingers are crossed for this one. Okay, I removed a bit more rock and stuff. This leg right here, little beat up, cracked, crushed, disarticulated, I'm not sure, just all kinds of stuff going on. Taking a turn, and a piece of the leg is going down deep. This I'm assuming is a piece of this leg. It does not seem to be much more there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this and see see if I run into anything. So we'll see what happens. Oh, gee, what's that? Oh! That that's a fourth leg. Oh man, that's good. That's real good. There's the fourth leg. So I'm gonna have to recontour all this, but I'm gonna follow up this leg and hope I hope it doesn't curve and turn and go underneath this this claw. That could be hard. Anyways, I'm gonna start taking rock down, and I don't mind having to redo this because I just got me another leg, and that is good news. Okay, as you can plainly see, that leg there, that's the fourth leg. One, two, 3, 4. That one's diving down that way, so that won't be able to get him. He's diving way down this way. I'm hoping it'll turn when it hits the joint that way. But right now that's going super deep. Super deep. Jeez. It'll make for an interesting leg, that's for sure. Anyways, that's almost 5 hours of work. I'm starting to smooth out this rock, and I'm calling it quits. I'll attack this tomorrow and then reshape this rock to fit that leg. Anyways, I'm going to take more of this rock out before I take this off, and just see if I can get that leg to turn. Well, it has nothing to do with me. Just see if I can find it. Because can it possibly go straight down and to the bottom of the rock? That just doesn't even seem possible. That's never happened before. Anyways, okay, I gotta do some serious digging. There's the joint. So that part of the leg is going down at that angle, and where it makes a slight turn, it's going down at that angle. So it's still going down. So this is going to be a weird shaped concretion, but I gotta have to find the tippy if I can. Wish me the best of luck. I'm going to start digging now that I know which direction it is. Okay. I got the tippy. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's in a cave now, damn near. Freaking Grand Canyon. But what a difference a leg makes, eh? Look at that. Now I've got to cut my line and contour this rock and shape it the way I want it so it fits. I've never had a leg go that deep before. This is a first. Yesterday I was almost done until I hit that little tiny spot there, and that changed everything. Anyways, nice to have another leg, even if it's this hard to expose. So I'm going to cut this line the way I want and start contouring and get this baby done. Okay, that didn't take long. There's my new line right there. So I'm going to take all this down nice and smooth to the leg. I'm going to take all this off and go make a ski slope up to the claw. I like rock to hold the claws. I've done it where I've taken all the rock off around the claws, and 2 or 3 times I've busted them after they were in the collection. Anyways, lots of work here to do, but let's do it. Get some of this rock out of the way so I can see the darn leg. Anyways, bit of work to do. Ooh, boy. Alright, that's pretty much shaped the way I want it. Well, that's in a bad spot, but anyways, it's a leg. Now I'm going to just smooth all that out the best I can, and this crab will be close to done. So, start smoothing. There's another, that's going to be tough, another 35-40 minutes. Jeez. Oh, it's a lot of work. That's gotta be some of the toughest contouring work I've done in a long time. But get a load of that. That's looking pretty darn good. So, oh, Jesus Christ, Ronald. So, what I'm going to do now is do a little bit of acrylic work and hide a couple of doinks in that spot. I'm not going to fill that spot and sand it down and whatnot and make it disappear, because that's just not right in my mind anymore. So I'm just going to hide it with a little bit of acrylic, and anybody who really wants to take a close look at it, sell it, give it away, whatever, will know that it hasn't been actually repaired, just a little bit of acrylic. Anyways, to the acrylic job. This baby's almost done. Okay, to acrylic my crabs, with what little I use, I got my acrylic colors, basically just earth tones. These are the 2 colors I'm going to use. One is burnt umber, one is lamp black. That'll do this crab, this tiny spot. There's a couple little doinks that I'm going to fix up. Doinks are where the tip or something hits the shell and it turns white. When I first started doing this, and I get 40 or 50 of those, I was doing lots of acrylic fixing. I use very small fine tipped brush, and for my acrylic brushes, which I have quite a few, and then I also use fine tip, I don't know if you can see that or not, fine tip brushes for the Glyptol, and I keep those separate because once you've used them in Glyptol, you can never use them for acrylics. And I have lots and lots of acrylic little brushes. Don't want to run out. Anyways, I'm going to set this camera up so you can watch me fix up these little marks. Okay. Got my brush, my water, my acrylics out here. I mix a little bit of water. Here goes nothing. That little doink now pretty much gone. Still there. That just kind of hides it. And this massive mistake, I just gently brush it on. A little darker, so you add a little darkness to it. A little darker, so I add a little more darker to it. There. The damage is still there, but it's hidden. And now there's all kinds of mistakes that Mother Nature did to this crab in crushing and cracking the shell, and there's rock here and there, but that's not a big deal. So that hides that god-awful whiteness, and now I'm going to sauce it up. And it's going to look quite nice. Okay, nice little tiny art brush, little shot glass full of, not full of, but glyptol cut with acetone, and it's at a very watery consistency, and I'm just going to brush it onto the crab, not the rock. Especially for flaky crabs or things that are falling apart, you've got glue everywhere anyways to hold it apart and finish prepping it. This just evens things out, but it makes it pop, and I like it. Some people don't, but I like it, so that's what's going to happen. I'll show you in about, I'm going to say 15 minutes or so. Time for another little trick. You see that little bit of discoloration there? If you can see that, I actually did it on purpose, but just to show you something, that's glue on the rock. It darkens the rock just like it darkens the crab material or whatever you're working on. I just take my sharpened chainsaw file and just tool the rock. That's all you got to do. Just tool it. You know, just scraping it back and forth. And it's gone. Done. Bingo bango. Just like freaking magic. Ta-da! Believe you me, when I'm brushing this glyptol on, I do it in a very controlled way. I do not let anything pull, because if it dries by itself in a pull, it gets real glossy. It looks glossy, but it's more of a matte finish, because as I'm applying the glue, I'm brushing the glue as it's drying, wherever I'm going. Very controlled way. That's the way I do it, that's the way I like it. But there you go. There's a crab that I marked with an arrow with a metal device called a sharpened chainsaw file, showing the direction of that crab. You'll see no arrow on this side. That's proof positive that I read this crab, and I read it absolutely perfect. That's the front, that's the back, that's the top, that's the bottom. Anyways, that crab turned out very well, I have to say. That is what you call a very nice B grade crab. A grade would have to have more tippy tippies. I only have the one, but that's very nice. I mean, I might have to keep this one, I don't know. Very nice crab. I hope you all enjoyed that. Another crab done, and another rock out of the garage.